Let us start. Previously, in yesterday's session, we talked about the various concepts that we are supposed to discuss in relation to the topic of consignment, in which we observed that we have to understand the concept of CP, AP, IP, loading, etc. We also are supposed to understand the concept of commission calculation, because each and every part of this, calculations with reference to cost price, invoice price, calculation with reference to the commission of consigning, calculation with reference to the closing stock valuation, calculation with reference to the abnormal loss, normal loss. These all put together affect the calculation with reference to the profitability of the business, and therefore we have to first focus on these all individual concepts, and only based on that we can talk about the concept related to the accounting and profit calculation on consignment. All right, so for that purpose, let's start with this basic point. What we had started doing yesterday, I gave you two basic relations yesterday. If you remember, the cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price, and the invoice price plus additional profit is equal to the selling price. But mind well, my dear friends, these are two independent equations. These should not be merged. You cannot say something like this, like cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price plus additional profit is equal to selling price. If you put something like this, that will become an invalid equation, because there are multiple equations involved into that. That's why I said that these are two independent equations. Cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price, and invoice price plus additional profit is equal to selling price. However, we can say cost price plus loading plus additional profit is equal to selling price. So in this case, this amount of loading plus additional profit will be the total profit. And please understand and remember that the profit on consignment belongs to the consignor and not to the consignee. The consignor is expected to earn the profit, whereas the consignee is expected to earn the profit, whereas the consignee is expected to get the commission against these sales, because consignee is just an agent of consignor. Am I right? So let me start talking about the calculations with reference to this cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price. Now, if suppose I've been given, let's say situ 1, goods of rupees 5 lakh at cost are sent at cost plus 25%. So IP will be, in this case, we have to do the calculation of invoice price related to the goods sent by the consignor to the consignee. Understand and observe very categorically in here. The relationship of loading is given with reference to 25% on cost. So this 25% is nothing but loading, and that loading is linked to cost. So if I presume my cost to be 100, my loading thereon will be 25, and therefore my invoice value or invoice price will become 125 or not. So if I am presuming my cost to be 100, which is equivalent to 5 lakh rupees, then what will be the invoice value of that? And that invoice value comes to 6,25,000. Did you understand this? How did I arrive at this? 5 lakh up on 100 into 125. Do you get this or not? I expect the interaction. I expect a kind of response. At least you can raise your hands, right? Huh. That's fine. Okay, I'll go ahead. Thank you. Observe the things further now. Now, this is very basic. I know it very well. But what happens is, if you are not focusing on the basics, then later on it may create the problem. And that's what I don't want. I want everything to be crystal clear this time so that you are not having any kind of issues at a later point. Suppose I've been given the situation as something like this. Goods of rupees 2 lakh at cost are sent at loading of 20% at IP. 20% of IP of IP. Now, in this case, if you would observe, this loading percentage is given with reference to invoice price. The link of loading is made with reference to invoice price. So in this case, what will I do? Let my invoice price be 100. So the loading thereon will be 20. Therefore, the cost price of my goods will become 80 or not? Yes or no? Please do remember this very categorically, that cost price will always be lesser than the invoice value. While doing the calculations in the flow, what students do is IP 100, loading 20, cost price 120, and therefore 100 agar 5 lakh hai, to 120 will be equal to 6 lakh rupees. And that is what the students do. I have observed it, I've seen it personally. And that's what is not correct. All right. So please do take care of that. So accordingly, if you'll observe now, still my cost remains at 5 lakh. The invoice price is not given at 5 lakh. Cost is given at 5 lakh. So if cost price is 80, what will be equal to 100? That again comes to 6,25,000. Now, why this happened is because 1 upon n of cost price will always be equal to 1 upon n plus 1 of invoice price. This is a basic equation. Why? क्योंकि जब आप लोडिंग कॉस्ट के रेफरेंस में परसेंटेज कैलकुलेट करते हो ना, जस्ट ऑब्जर्व इट, cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price. All right. So if it is cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price, then if I am assuming cost price to be 100, let's say loading thereon is 25, so my invoice price is equal to 125, correct? Now, if I calculate this loading with reference to cost price, how will I do the calculation? 25 upon 100. That is equal to 1 upon 4 or not? Similarly, if I am doing the calculation of cost loading with reference to invoice price, I'll do what? 25 upon 125, that is equal to 1 upon 5. That means what is our equation then? 1 upon 4 of cost price will always be equal to 1 upon 5 of invoice price. If I assume 4 as n, then 1 upon n of cost price will be equal to 1 upon n plus 1 of invoice price or not. I hope you understood the derivative of this formula. Now, why I gave you this shortcut? Because at any point in time in the examination, you should be able to get the answers in a shorter manner also. All right. Do you want to write these? You'll complete writing this and then we'll do 1 or 2 examples and then we'll go ahead. Okay, write down the example. Goods costing rupees 10 lakh were sent on consignment with a loading of goods costing rupees 10 lakh were sent on consignment with a loading of 20% at IP. 20% at IP, comma, 1/5 of the goods are still in transit. 1/5 of the goods are still in transit, whereas half of the remaining goods are sold. Half of the remaining goods are sold at 20% above IP. At 20% above IP. Full stop. calculate the value of sales, calculate the value of sales and the cost of goods sold. Calculate the value of sales and the cost of goods sold. That's it, do it. A very absolute basic question. No, but these all questions become the base of your consolidated answer. And that's why you're supposed to do these all things. No, Vishwajit, I cannot. Abhishek, I cannot. Because I don't remember these questions. These are the questions created at the point. Shall I? Value of sales 6 lakh, 8 lakh is the cost of goods sold. Sales is 9,60,000. As expected, multiple of the answers. हाँ दिखाओ दिखाओ और क्या क्या जवाब है तुम्हारे पास, दिखाओ. यस, और क्या क्या जवाब आए हैं तुम लोग के. वैल्यू ऑफ सेल 7,20,000. फैंटास्टिक. पता नहीं किसका आंसर करेक्ट निकलेगा. Cost of goods sold 10 lakh. Wow. Cost of goods sold 8 lakh. Sales 12 lakh. Very nice. तुम लोगों ने क्वेश्चन पढ़ा जो मैंने लिखवाया तुम लोग को? कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड सोल्ड 4 लाख। ओ, सेल्स 4,80,000, सेल्स 12 लाख। वाओ। वैल्यू ऑफ सेल्स 5,76,000, कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड सोल्ड 3,84,000। ओहो हो। Sales 9,60,000, COGS 8 lakh, value of sales 6 lakh. What a variety, you know. इतने बेसिक क्वेश्चन में इतना वेरिएशन एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था मुझे, बट स्टिल अब आप लोगों को कौन रोक सकता है? We are talking about the example. Cost of goods sent was 10 lakh. Correct? Yes or no? In transit is 1/5 of the goods, that is of 2 lakh rupees or not? So anyways, this 2 lakh worth of goods is not received by consignee. So received by consignee, आप समझो आपकी मिस्टेक्स कहां हो रही है. You are not reading the question by itself. Many of you is 4/5, that is 8 lakh worth of goods, 8 lakh costing goods is received by consignee or not? The question says of the remaining half are sold. That means of this, half is sold by consignee, and if of this half is sold, that means costing rupees 4 lakh are sold or not. So cost of goods sold is only 4 lakh rupees. Yes or no? No, Miss Ayushi, it is not that 4 lakh worth of goods are sold for 4,80,000. If you would read the question carefully, it says that the goods are sold at 20% above IP. This 4 lakh rupees is not the invoice value of the goods. No, Shivam, your answer is also wrong. What is loading? Loading is 20% of invoice value. Yes or no? What is the equation? Cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price. If invoice price, loading is given with reference to invoice price. So I'll presume invoice price is 100 or not. जिसके संबंध में लोडिंग दिया गया है उसी को आप 100 अज्यूम करोगे. शिवम, your answer is correct. I'm sorry. So my loading becomes 20. So my cost price is 80. If 80 is equal to 4 lakh, that is the cost of goods sold. So invoice price of goods sold comes to 5 lakh rupees. But 5 lakh is not the sales value. Sales value is 20% above invoice price. Therefore, sales is equal to 5 lakh, that is invoice price, plus 20%, that is additional profit, that comes to 6 lakh rupees. If you will not read the questions carefully, if you will not try to assess what has been given to you, you are bound to make the mistakes. So I request every one of you to please read the questions carefully in an utmost way. Did you understand your mistakes? हाँ, जिनका गलत था वो छाप लो, जिनको नहीं आया वो भी छापो. Still, we'll practice some more questions. I know, because this is the start. See, unless and until you know how to calculate the sales value, how will you be able to calculate the correct profitability? Directly, अगर आपको क्वेश्चन में सेल्स वैल्यू दी गई है तब की बात अलग होती है, but it's not the case every time. They do not provide you the sales value at all. Mr. Rahul, नहीं यश, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस होने वाले, जस्ट वेट फॉर इट. Mr. Rahul, that is what I am saying every time. श्रेयस, सारा का सारा आंसर यहीं पे है, क्या स्क्रॉल डाउन स्क्रॉल अप करूं मैं? That is what I say, that you are supposed to read the question carefully. From where we got the additional profit? Manisha, if you'd have read the question right, it says what? That the goods are sold at 20% above IP. ऐसा कुछ लिखा हुआ है क्या क्वेश्चन में? हाँ, वहां से हमको एडिशनल प्रॉफिट मिला. 20% अबव आईपी मतलब क्या होता है? हमने आईपी से ज्यादा कमाया, मतलब एडिशनल प्रॉफिट कमाया ना, बिकॉज आईपी इंक्लूड्स योर लोडिंग ओनली. करेक्ट. Yes, if anyone else has any kind of question in this, shall I go ahead? Write down another example. सर ये x के चक्कर में हमारे जितने भी चहेते थे सारे x हो गए सर. Samyak, by whichever method you have done it, I don't mind it. You must have calculated the sales value of all the goods, or you must have calculated the invoice value of all the goods, and then you must have arrived at the sales value. Is that right, Samyak? Yeah, so when I have considered IP, but I have considered the IP only of the goods sold. जो कैलकुलेशंस की मुझे जरूरत नहीं है, मैं वो वाले कैलकुलेशन करूं क्यों? समय वहां लगाओ जहां जरूरत हो. राइट. हाँ, राइट डाउन. A consignor had sent the goods with the invoice value of the goods with the invoice value of ₹15 lakh which is inclusive of loading, which is inclusive of loading at 25% above cost. Which is inclusive of loading at 25% above cost. Full stop. The consignee received 90% of the goods and could sell 2/3 of the goods sent and could sell 2/3 of the goods sent at at an additional profit of 20% on sales. 20% on sales. Calculate the value of sales. Calculate the value of sales and the cost of goods sold. And the cost of goods sold. Do it. आंसर्स आना चालू हो गए. COGS 7,20,000, सेल्स 10,80,000. ओके. COGS 9 lakh, sales 10,80,000. सेल्स 10,80,000. ये बहुत लोगों का मैच हो रहा है. COGS 5,76,000. Sales 8,64,000. तो सीरियसली इतनी वैरायटी आप लेके कहां से आते हो, क्या पता. If everyone is expected to apply the same kind of concept, why everyone gets the different answer? COGS 9 lakh, sales 10,80,000. Oh, sales 11,25,000. My goodness. Sales 7,20,000. COGS 7,20,000 हाथ दोगे? कोई कहता है सेल्स 7,20,000 का है, कोई कहता है COGS 7,20,000 है. Sales 11,25,000. COGS 9 lakh. Sales 9 lakh. Sales 10,80,000. COGS 8 लाख. अरे COGS और सेल्स इन दोनों में फर्क पता है कि नहीं तुम लोगों को? कोई COGS 9 लाख कहता है, कोई सेल्स 9 लाख कहता है, कोई COGS 7,20,000 कहता है, कोई सेल्स 7,20,000 कहता है. देखो, अगेन द सेम थिंग इज हैपनिंग. COGS 720, sales 10,80,000. ओहो. COGS 6,75,000. Okay, observe it. आपका प्रॉब्लम है कि आप सवाल ठीक से नहीं पढ़ रहे हो. COGS in the given question is 7,20,000 and sales is 11,25,000. I'll prove it in front of you. I'll prove it. Wait. These are the answers. मैंने कैलकुलेटर पे कर लिए हैं कैलकुलेशंस. That is sufficient for me. हालांकि एग्जाम में आप कैलकुलेशंस ऐसे कैलकुलेटर पे नहीं कर सकते. एग्जाम में यू हैव टू प्रेजेंट इट, यू हैव टू डू द इजहार ऑफ इट. IP of goods sent is 15 lakh rupees or not? Invoice value of goods sent is 15 lakh rupees or not? अब जब आपको ये पता है कि consignee could sell 60% of the goods sent to him, why will I worry about that how much he has received? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? If you are being told that 3/5 बोला है 60% बोला है, how much is the good sent? Sold. अरे can anyone respond 3/5? 2/3? क्वेश्चन में क्या दिया हुआ है बेटा? No, wait. Okay, 2/3 of goods sent. My goodness. चलो आंसर बदलेगा इसका मतलब. IP of goods sold therefore is 15 lakh into 2/3. These are not the correct answer. I made the wrong interpretation because I was not having the question. That is how much? 10 lakh is the invoice value of goods sold or not? Yes or no? This is invoice price. This is not the cost. Cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price. In the given question, the loading is given with reference to cost price. 25% above cost is the loading or not? The goods are sent at invoice value of 15 lakh with the loading of 25% above cost. ऐसा कुछ तो कहा हुआ है ना? Which means loading is given with reference to cost. So let my cost be 100, loading on that will be 25, therefore invoice price will be equal to 125. If this is the case, so my cost of goods sold is equal to 10 lakh up on 125 into 100. And that comes to what? 8 lakh rupees. Is it so? बहुत सारे लोग चिंता में आ गए, सर ओनली 90% ऑफ द गुड्स वर रिसीव्ड. अरे मिस्टर यश देसाई, have you read the question what has been given in that? Mr. Kalpesh Nikum, have you tried reading the question what I gave you? This is the mistake that you do every time. You are not reading the things right, and that's why you are going wrong. What is the question? Can you read it? Yes, can you unmute yourself, please? Yes, Desai. Unmute yourself, beta.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Can you read the whole question for me?
A consignor has sent goods with the invoice value of 15 lakh,
Correct.
which is inclusive of loading 25% above cost.
Correct.
The consignee received 90% of goods
Okay.
and could sell 2/3 of goods sent at additional profit of 2/3 of goods sent.
Goods sent. मतलब किसमें का? 15 लाख का 2/3 या 13,50,000 का 2/3?
13,50,000 का.
अरे भाई साहब, यश देसाई.
Yes, sir.
Once again read it. Consignee could sell
2/3 of goods sent.
2/3 of goods sent. मतलब क्या? It is not 2/3 of goods received, it is 2/3 of goods sent. मतलब 15 लाख के जो गुड्स भेजे थे उसका 2/3.
अच्छा.
नहीं, यहीं फंसते हैं भाई साहब. हम शब्दों के माया जाल में फंसोगे तो दिक्कत बनेगी. You are expected to read each and every point very carefully. You cannot have the preemption that what is been given in the question. ये ऐसा ही होगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Are you able to understand what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
So you have to consider what is been given in the question instead of what is there in your mind. That's why I removed my answer. If you observe, 7,20,000 वाला आंसर मैंने रिमूव किया. क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे वहीं समझ आ गया, if it is 2/3 of goods sent, it is not 2/3 of 13,50,000. It is 2/3 of 15 lakh rupees. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, all those who made the mistake on the same count. You are not the only person who have made that mistake. There are so many of those. How many? कितने लोगों का विकेट उड़ा इस पे? Can you raise hands for me? How many of you went wrong on that in understanding? In reading, in fact, understanding तो बहुत clear है. Oh my. मैं सिर्फ ऑब्जर्व करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, and it's around 50 to 60 students who have gone wrong on that. This is I can just make this as a point now to you people that if you won't read the question carefully, you are bound to make the mistake. सौख्यदा कर लगा बाळ. Hardeep, is it right? नहीं, अरे questions बहुत आने वाले हैं. Don't worry on that part. समझना ज्यादा जरूरी है, कंसेप्ट ज्यादा जरूरी है. This is what I call as wrong application of concept and silly mistake together. हाँ, आगे यहां कहानी खत्म नहीं हुई. Goods are sold at a profit of 20% on sales. So sales price minus additional profit is equal to invoice price or not? है ना? Accordingly, if I am assuming my sales price to be 100, my additional profit on that is 20. So my invoice value must be equal to 80 or not? If 80 is equal to, so accordingly, I'll do the calculation. Sales, therefore, is equal to 10 lakh up on 80 into 100, and that is equal to 12 lakh 50,000. सारी की सारी गिल्लियां उड़ गई because we didn't read the question carefully. Did you get that? Chalo, chapo answer. If anyone's still not getting, can ask the question. I don't mind it. Ayushi, it is 20% on sales. तो अगर तुम्हारा सेल 100 है तो उसका एडिशनल प्रॉफिट 20 हुआ तो तुम्हारा इनवॉइस वैल्यू विल बी इक्विवेलेंट टू 80 और नॉट? If you are saying 12 lakh, that means you are adding 20% on IP. 90% received was just for the sake of confusing you and you got into it. मतलब एक छोटा सा ट्विस्ट भी अगर आप ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर पाओगे, ऑफ कोर्स सीओजीएस 8 लाख है, मैंने लिखा हुआ है वहां पे, यशोधन 10 लाख आईपी के गुड्स बेचे या नहीं हमने? यस और नो? कहां ऊपर गलत लिखा है? यशोधन, अभिषेक, कैन यू अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ बेटा?
यस सर।
यशोधन, 10 लाख इनवॉइस वैल्यू के गुड्स बेचे हमने, ये पक्का है?
हाँ पक्का है।
हाँ. नाउ व्हाट इज द लोडिंग का रिलेशन? Loading is 25% above cost, correct or not?
Yes, correct.
So what I will do, I will assume cost price as 100 or invoice price?
हाँ yes.
नहीं क्या yes क्या? What will I assume, cost price or invoice price as 100?
Profit or investment.
If loading percentage is given with reference to cost price, you should assume cost price as 100. If loading percentage is given with reference to invoice price, you should assume invoice price as 100. ऐसा मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले कहा था. यशोधन, भाई तुम मेरे साथ बात कर रहा है या किसी और के साथ?
हाँ yes sir.
So what will I assume, cost price as 100 or invoice price?
Invoice price.
ले भाई साहब, I said loading is given with reference to cost price.
Yes.
Therefore, I will assume cost price as 100.
Yes.
लोडिंग का जिसके साथ संबंध दिया होगा उससे आपने 100 अज्यूम करना है.
हाँ यस.
So I presume cost price as 100. So loading thereon becomes 25. Therefore invoice price becomes 125 or not?
125.
Correct?
Yes.
10 lakh is equivalent to 125.
Yes.
So what will be equal to 100? I did the cross multiplication.
Yes sir. समझा. Thank you.
Got it?
Yes.
हाँ. अभिषेक बिना अनम्यूट करके ही समझ गया. वैसे ही समझ में आ गया. जाने दो सर. कहाँ आप जग में हमारी हंसाई कर रहे हो? क्यों हमारा सामूहिक करवा रहे हो सर? पहले ही दुनिया हम पर इतना हंस रही है कि हम आपको क्या बताएं. Isn't it? Yes. अरे श्रेयस 90% तो सिर्फ तुमको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए दिया था मैंने. उसका कोई संबंध ही नहीं था पूरे आंसर में. Had I done the accounting entries at that time, that 90% would have had some value. जब मैं वैल्यूएशन ऑफ क्लोजिंग स्टॉक करता तब उस 90% की कोई वैल्यू थी. वो तो तुम लोग को मामू बनाने के लिए दिया था और तुम मामू बन गए. नहीं शाकिब, अगला क्वेश्चन राइट होगा या नहीं पता नहीं. तुम लोग किस तरह से क्वेश्चन को पढ़ते हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है. हाँ, राइट डाउन. Yes, Prathamesh, IP is 10 lakh rupees. IP of goods sold is 10 lakh rupees. तो इसमें सवाल क्या है बेटा तेरा? मुझे अब ऐसा फीलिंग आने लगा है कि मैंने बहुत अच्छा किया that I have started with consignment as a topic. Prathamesh, can you unmute yourself, beta? Prathamesh Devadikar. अपूर्वा, तेरे को कोई क्वेश्चन है बेटा? प्रथमेश देवाडीकर. यार क्या होता है ना कि अगर आप रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करते हो ना इमीडिएटली तो यहाँ क्लास का समय बर्बाद होता है. एवरीवन इज यूजिंग देयर बैंडविड्थ फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ अटेंडिंग दिस क्लास. यू आर नॉट सपोज्ड टू. या तो आप क्वेश्चन मत पूछो अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन है, या पूछते हो तो उसको क्लियर करो. प्रथमेश देवाडीकर, व्हाट इज योर क्वेश्चन? सर आईपी इज 10 लाख. ये तो मुझे भी पता है, बट दैट इज आईपी ऑफ गुड सोल्ड. अच्छा, at top I had written cost of goods sold as 10 lakh. So people are getting confused. No, COGS is 8 lakh rupees and sales is 12 lakh 50,000. I am sorry for that. Shall I go ahead? I hope you are realizing what you are doing wrong and what you are supposed to do correct. हाँ, लिखो अगला क्वेश्चन. X3 जिसको हमने कहा था कल आना. OS3 कल आना ऐसा बोला था ना. Well, anyways, write down. The sales made by consignee. The sales made by consignee amounted to rupees 16,50,000, which was 10% above IP, which was 10% above invoice price, and the consignee had sold two-thirds of goods received. Consignee had sold 2/3 of goods received, comma, 10% of the goods sent by consignor, 10% of goods sent by consignor are still in transit. Are still in transit. Full stop. Loading is given at 25% above cost. Loading is given at 25% above cost. Full stop. Calculate the cost of goods sent. Calculate the cost of goods sent. That's it. और कुछ भी कैलकुलेट नहीं करना है. $16,50,000 कहा था दृष्टि मैंने. I had mentioned 16,50,000 if you would observe it correctly. एक ही बात होती है मनीषा, वो एटलीस्ट इस क्वेश्चन का तो सारे लोग सेम आंसर देंगे, ऐसा मैं उम्मीद रखता हूं. Yes, I should see this answer starting to flow now. Oh my god, cost of goods sold पूछा ही नहीं है भाई साहब मैंने. I had asked cost of goods sent. प्रयास गलत है भाई साहब. कहां से कैसे गोची खा रहे हो तुम, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है. $13,20,000, 14,66,667, 19,80,000. 5 minutes, sir. 11,88,000. What the fantastic answers, which all are wrong. 13,36,500, 15,84,000, 12 lakh, 13,20,000, 12 lakh. मुझे सच्ची बताओ, मैंने कंसाइनमेंट स्टार्ट करके सही किया या गलत किया? मतलब जिस तरह से तुम आ रहे हो. $13,50,000. कंसेप्ट ब्लंडर नहीं बेटा, कंसेप्ट है ही नहीं. हमें क्वेश्चन पढ़ना ही नहीं है, तो बेसिक का लॉजिक हमने फोर्थ और फिफ्थ में वाले लॉजिक अप्लाई किए हुए हैं. तो वहां भी ध्यान नहीं दिया था, यहां भी ध्यान नहीं दिया था. 19,80,000, 18 lakh. ऋतुजा, यू देयर टुडे? 22 लाख. वाह, बोलियां लग रही हैं यहाँ पे. 20 lakh. Cost of goods sent is 20 lakh. Shivam is saying 20 lakh. Shakib is saying sir 20 लाख लॉक कर दो. स्वप्निल 20 लाख, 20,80,000. कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड नहीं पूछा है, रेसेंट पूछा है साक्षी. ट्वेंटी लाख, 12 लाख, 14,85,000, 11,88,000, 12,37,500. यह सच्ची में मन करता है कि स्क्रीन में से घुस के तुम लोग को चमाट मारूं मैं. 20 लाख, 20 लाख, 20 लाख. Okay, let's observe. Of course, the correct answer is 20 lakh rupees only. That is absolutely correct. There is no problem on that front. स्क्रीन कहाँ गई? आ भी जा, आ भी जा. ए स्क्रीन भेजा स्टूडेंट्स को ना सता, इन सभी को पढ़ने दे जरा। हाँ, 20 lakh rupees. Why it is the correct answer? Just observe it. Sales is 16,50,000. That is 10% above IP. ये अकेली वैल्यू दी गई थी हमको, इसी के भरोसे पे सब कुछ करना था, करेक्ट? Therefore, IP of goods sold will be equal to 16,50,000 up on 110 into 100. क्यों? If additional profit is given with reference to IP, I presume invoice price is 100, so additional profit is 10, therefore selling price is equal to 110 or not? So accordingly, my invoice price of goods sold comes to 15 lakh rupees. पहला point clear है? Yes or no? Invoice price of goods sold is 15 lakh rupees. Is this point right for everyone? Now let's focus on the things further. नहीं, जिनके आंसर सही है वो लोग को हाँ बोल रहे हो, जिनके गलत है वो लोग बोलो हाँ ये सही जा रहे हैं सर। Goods sold are 2/3 of received. Correct? Therefore, invoice price of goods received is equal to 15 lakh into 3 upon 2. क्योंकि invoice price of goods received calculate करना है हमको। अगर received में से 2/3 सेल किया था और उस 2/3 की वैल्यू अगर 15 लाख, तो रिसीव कितना हुआ? क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन। If 1 was received, 2/3 of that was sold. 2/3 का वैल्यू 15 लाख, तो 1 का वैल्यू कितना? That is what we are trying to do. Yes or no? And that comes to 22,50,000. But this is not the invoice value of all goods. This is only the Ayushi, what you did, beta? How did you get this 13,50,000? हाँ बच्चा, आयुषी 13,50,000 कहां से आया बेटा?
2/3 of 15 lakh दिया मैंने।
बेटा 2/3 of 15 lakh comes to 10 lakh rupees. This is 90% of 15 lakh. कुछ तो गोची हुई. It is not 2/3 of the sold. It is 2/3 of received which is sold. अगर तुमको 100 यूनिट आए थे तो इसमें से 2/3 बेचे थे. If 1 is received, out of that 2/3 is sold. Correct? तो अगर 2/3 की वैल्यू 15 लाख, तो 1 की वैल्यू कितनी? That is what we are supposed to do the calculation of or not? Are you understanding this point?
Yes, sir.
So that's why I did the reverse, Manisha. 15 lakh into 3 divided by 2. Why 15 lakh divided by 2 by 3 into 1 करना है ना? समझा क्या मनीषा? हाँ. Accordingly, now what's the situation? The situation is now if 100 goods were sent, 10% in transit. So 90 is received or not? इसका मतलब 22,50,000 is the value of that 90% only or not? Therefore, invoice value of goods sent is equal to 22,50,000 up on 90 into 100. And that comes to 25 lakh rupees. This 25 lakh rupees is what? The invoice value, not the cost of goods sent. क्योंकि जब तक मुझे कोई एक particular value को goods sent से नहीं मिलेगी, तब तक how will I be able to arrive at the cost of goods sent? So I first calculated what? The invoice value or the invoice price of the goods sent. Did you understand this point? Now, based on this, I will now calculate what? The cost of goods sent. Why? Because loading is given to me as what? Loading is 25% above cost or not? So let the cost price be 100. Loading thereon will be 25. So invoice price will be equal to 125 or not? If 25 lakh is the value of 125, what will be the value of 100? This is what we are supposed to do. Therefore, cost of goods sent is equal to 25 lakh up on 125 into 100, and that comes to 20 lakh rupees. Please remember, observe, I am not trying to apply some rocket science here. I am trying to apply the basic two equations in all the aspects. मैं कोई सा भी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लूं, उसमें मैं बेसिक इक्वेशंस को ही फॉलो कर रहा हूं. The only point that we have to remember is the sequence of transactions, how those transactions are taking place, and based on that we have to arrive at our answer. Did you understand this point? अरे कुछ पल्ले पड़ रहा है या सिर्फ टाइम पास किए जा रहे हो? Yes, if anyone has any kind of question. क्योंकि इस बार टाइम पास नहीं करना है, इस टाइम खुद को पास करना है. लिखो फटाफट. डिलीवरी वाला बहुत स्लो है, बदलना चाहिए. मतलब नहीं समझा मेरे को. Sir, only the mistake I did was taking SP minus AP is equal to IP as 100 minus 10 is equal to 90. Oh ho ho! It was 10% above IP. Om Turaj, because of that, the whole of your answer went wrong or not? You didn't apply one concept correct, and the whole answer got crashed because of that. And that was the wrong application of the concept, even though you are knowing about it. That is what is expected to be avoided, is what I've been mentioning again and again and again. Is it done? Write down one last question on this concept, and then we'll go ahead to the next concept, that is Consignees Commission. Write down. The invoice value, of goods sent by consignor amounted to rupees 18 lakh, inclusive of loading at 20% of IP. Inclusive of loading at 20%, no, inclusive of loading at 1/6 of IP. Inclusive of loading at 1/6 of IP. Full stop. The consignee sold yes 1/6 of IP. The consignee sold half of the goods received, which was 80% of the total consignment. The consignee sold half of the goods received, which was 80% of the total consignment, comma, at a total profit of 60% above cost. at a total profit of 60% above cost. Calculate the value of sales. Calculate the value of sales. That's it. Do it now. ₹14,40,000, Rahul. Are you sure? Value of sales is asked, right? $9,60,000. Oh my God. 9,60,000. $9,60,000. Multiple of the parties are giving the same answer now. Does not mean it is correct or does not mean it is wrong. Till the time we cross check. $959,000, $961,000. That's approximately 9,60,000 only, Smith. $19,20,000. Oh. 19,20,000 अचानक सुर बदल गया, वो बदल गया. That kind of feeling it is. अचानक सबका आंसर 19,20,000 आने चालू किया. पहले 960, 960, 960, अब 1920, 1920, 1920. पिक्चर बहुत बढ़िया थी 1920. 14,40,000. 9,60,000. 19, 19, 9, 30, 923 is nothing but 19,20,000. Fractional calculation, Abhishek. 960, 1440. So only 3 answers. That's a big deal for me. I'm seriously saying that's a big deal for me. नहीं तो इतनी वैरायटी होती है. Okay, the correct answer is 9,60,000. Why 9,60,000? Observe it and observe it closely. Invoice value of goods sent is 18 lakh. Correct? If loading is 1/6 of IP, therefore cost price is 5/6 of IP or not? Because cost price plus loading is equal to invoice price or not? So 1 minus 1/6 becomes 5/6. Yes or no? Therefore, cost price of goods sent is equal to 18 lakh into 5/6. That is equal to 15 lakh rupees. Am I right? अरे हाँ या ना? अरे तुम लोग अगर सिर्फ मेरे प्रवचन ही सुनते रहोगे तो फिर तुम्हारी मतलब कहां से बदलाव होगा भाई? मैं क्या यहाँ पे संदीप माहेश्वरी बन के बैठा हूं कि तुमको मैं प्रवचन सुनाता रहूंगा, कि बाबा रामदेव हूं जो तुमको अनुलोम विलोम अंदर बार करने को कहूंगा, कि मैं बैठ के कमेंट करूं जब आत्मा का मिलन परमात्मा से होता है तो जयराम जी की तो बोलना ही पड़ेगा, नारायण हरि नारायण. डू यू वांट मी टू डू समथिंग लाइक दैट? तुम क्या टेलीविजन शो देख रहे हो? नेटफ्लिक्स चल रहा है? पागल लोग. So cost price of goods sent is, no, I don't want you to type anything. You just keep raising the hand. That's it for me. So cost price of goods sent is 15 lakh rupees or not? Now just observe the situation carefully. received is 80% of sent and sold is 50% of received. बराबर है? This is what is given in the question. Now, therefore, the cost of goods sold. Why I'm calculating the cost of goods sold in this case is because my profit is given with reference to cost. इसीलिए मैं cost को calculate करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. So my cost of goods sold is equal to 15 lakh का 80%. This is received, but sold is only 50% of that or not? Ka 50%. That is cost of goods sold comes to 6 lakh rupees. Correct? And then it is further been provided. Selling price is equal to cost price plus 60%. The total profit is earned over and above cost, that is at 60%. Therefore, my selling price is equal to 6 lakh plus 60%, and that comes to 9 lakh 60,000. Did you observe it now? पल्ले पढ़ रही है concept या नहीं? I am asking this seriously, especially for the students who are not from Ekatvam. Are you people getting the concepts right? The people who did it self earlier, the people who are not there with us earlier, are you people able to get the things right now? फर्क महसूस हो रहा है या नहीं तुम लोगों को कि हमने कहां पहले माती खाई थी और अब वहां हमको सारे लूपहोल्स पैक करने हैं. चलो छापो. I hope you people are realizing that yes, there is a difference. That's a standard advice to you all, that whatsoever questions we are doing in the class, those all you should be solving on your own on a daily basis. पूरे के पूरे रीसॉल्व करने चाहिए, क्योंकि जब रीसॉल्व करोगे तो रियलाइज होगा कि कहां हम लोग जनरली मिस्टेक्स करते हैं. लिखा क्या आप लोगों ने? And I'm trying to present it in the form of working note that you are supposed to do in the examination. These all what we are doing, if the question comes of the similar nature, then you have to present these all things in the form of working note in the examination. All right? तो ये जितनी भी आप मेहनत कर रहे हो, ये हार्डली 1 मार्क के लिए मेहनत चल रही है. Only for 1 mark. Selling price is IP plus AP, na? So how is in this case COGS? Rahul Jain. Question says what? Goods are sold at a total profit of 60% above cost. मैंने एक इक्वेशन लिखवाया था भाई साहब यहाँ पे. What is this? CP plus total profit is equal to SP or not? And total profit will include what? Loading as well as additional profit. लिखवाया था ऐसा कुछ? हाँ, तो भाई साहब मैं वही तो बार बार कह रहा हूं ना कि आपने ना सवाल ठीक से पढ़ने हैं, क्योंकि अगर आप सवाल ही नहीं पढ़ोगे तो आपको समझ कैसे आएगा कि करना क्या है, कि बताना क्या है, कि सोचना क्या है, कि कैलकुलेशन क्या करना है. पहले पढ़ रही ना बात. हाँ जी, वही तो मैं समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा था. अब शायद आपके कुछ तो दिमाग में आ जाएगा. हाँ भाई, हम कुछ तो मतलब पढ़ने पढ़ने में अगर गलतियां करेंगे तो लिखने लिखने में तो बहुत सारा कुछ हो जाएगा. Okay, what we'll do is we'll take a 5 minutes ka break as you people require it, and then continue with the concept of commission. But I'm going to continue here itself. So just come back within 5 minutes. In fact, the next concept that we need to talk about now from the perspective of consignment is the Consignees Commission. The second very important calculative part that comes is Consignees Commission. If you would be observing, my dear friends, that this topic, especially consignment, this is less of accounting and more of calculations. There are multiple things which are involved for which you have to do the multiple of calculations, and accounting part is very meager and small part of that. So if you consider the next part, the second part that we have to talk about now, that is Consignees Commission, you'll observe that a consignee will be getting the commission, or consignee will be paid the commission with reference to only for the goods sold by him. This is very important concept that you have to remember. This is very much important because when you are doing the calculations with reference to commission, we forget about this. कंसाइनी को कमीशन सिर्फ उतने ही गुड्स के लिए मिलेगी जो उसने बेचे हो. जो गुड्स उसके पास हैं अब तक उसने बेचे नहीं हैं, on that you are not going to pay the commission. Why I'm talking about this? Many a times you are given the question, the consignee to get the commission at the rate of 5% of the sales and 20% of sales exceeding invoice value. Exceeding invoice value here means what? The invoice value of goods sold by him. It is not the invoice value of all the goods. It is only the invoice value of goods sold by him. So whensoever you are talking about, whensoever you are observing, whensoever you are doing the calculation of commission, the commission is calculated only and only for the goods sold by the consignee and not with reference to the goods received, or for that matter, the goods sent to him. So accordingly, let's understand the different types of commission that the consignee can get, and how that commission has to be calculated is what we have to understand now, is what we have to observe now. Let's come to that now. That is Consignees Commission. Now, the different things which are included in Consignees Commission, one we call as normal commission. Second, we call as the special commission, which is also called as the over overriding commission, or it can also be called as the additional commission. And the third thing that we are going to understand, which has reference with the accounting aspect, that is del creditor commission. Am I right? So three types of commission, that is normal commission, special overriding or additional commission, and del creditor commission. Normal commission is what? The bare minimum commission payable by consignor to consignee. इतना तो मिनिमम देना ही पड़ेगा. पर होता क्या है, कंसाइनर ने कंसाइनी से कहा कि भाई तूने मिनिमम 100 रुपए में यूनिट बेचना है. इनवॉइस प्राइस ऑफ द गुड्स सेंट इज से 100 रुपीज पर यूनिट. तो कंसाइनी से कह दिया गया कि तूने 100 रुपए में यूनिट बेचना है. अब कंसाइनी का इंटरेस्ट ऐसा है, कंसाइनी को ऐसा दिखता है यार ये 100 वाला नहीं है, 120 में बिक सकता है प्रोडक्ट, ये 150 में प्रोडक्ट बिक सकता है. पर कंसाइनी को कोई मोटिवेशन ही नहीं है. कंसाइनी कहता है मैं 100 रुपए में बेचेगा तो भी मुझे 5% कमीशन, मैं 120 में बेचेगा तो भी मुझे 5% कमीशन. मतलब एडिशनल 20 रुपए का 5%, मेरा प्रॉफिट तो 1 रुपया, 19 रुपया तो मेरा कंसाइनर कमा के चला जाएगा, मैं क्यों बेचूं. And for that purpose, to incentivize, to motivate the consignee to sell the goods at a price better than the invoice price, the consignor offers the additional commission or overriding commission or special commission. This is in addition to normal commission. All right. To motivate consignee to sell the goods at higher price. Am I right? And then the third category, that is del creditor commission. I'll just put a connector to this connector. The del creditor commission is primarily given to avoid loss on account of bad debts and to motivate consignee to sell goods on credit. Am I right? You just write these points, and then certain points to remember is what we have to write with reference to this. Complete writing this. You're not supposed to take only the screenshots of these all things what I've been writing. You're supposed to actually write it. Is it done? Yes, we'll explain it. Wait, just complete this. Yes, write down points to remember. Points to remember. When the commission is to be given, नॉर्मल कमीशन में क्या लिखा है सिर्फ पढ़ के दिखाओ. Bare minimum commission payable by consignor to consignee. This is the minimum amount that the consignee will be receiving from the consignor. It cannot be less than that. Points to remember under that. The first one, the consignee's commission is calculated only with reference to the consignee's commission is calculated only with reference to नहीं मैंने पॉइंट ही चेंज कर दिया. The consignee's commission is calculated only with reference to goods sold by him. Goods sold by him. Next point. If del creditor commission is given, if del creditor commission is given, comma, the bad debt loss, if any, the bad debts loss, if any, will be borne by consignee. Will be borne by consignee and not by consignor. And not by consignor. Next point. Next point. The special commission The special commission is to be calculated only with reference to surplus as mentioned in the question. The special commission is calculated only with reference to surplus as given in the question. Am I right? Now, understand what these all points are first, and then we'll go ahead with the calculation part. I said normal commission is the bare minimum amount that the consignee is going to get. उसने जितना भी सेल किया, उस सेल्स के रेफरेंस में हम लोग कैलकुलेट करेंगे द नॉर्मल कमीशन. Now please understand this commission can be calculated on fixed basis or on percentage basis. If the commission is calculated on fixed basis, then in that case you will be given the number of units as well. But if it is calculated with reference to percentages, then in that case you have to consider the value of the transaction of sales and you have to calculate the percentage of that. The special commission, अब मैंने पहले ही आपको बताया कि 100 का यूनिट 120 में मैं क्यों बेचूं? क्योंकि अगर मैं 20 रुपए एडिशनल कंसाइनर को कमा के दूंगा तो कंसाइनर इज रेडी टू गिव मी द शेयर इन दैट 20 rupees, an additional amount, and that is what we call as a special overriding or additional commission. And that's why the additional commission is generally calculated with reference to the surplus which has been given to the consignee, or surplus that is made by the consignee over and above the price at which he is expected to sell the goods. ये तो जैसे जैसे हम लोग क्वेश्चंस देखना चालू करेंगे वैसे वैसे हमको ये समझ आने लगेगा. Whereas Del Creditor Commission is what? It is basically the commission which is payable by the consignor to the consignee for avoiding any kind of bad debts loss. अब होता क्या है? Just observe it. In the normal course, when you are selling the goods for cash, your customers are lesser. आज की तारीख में the maximum of the business that is taking place in the current scenario is on credit basis. तो अगर credit basis पे आपका business चलाना है आपको, तो in that case there is bound to be the people like Vijay Mallya and Mr. Modi or not, Nirav Modi, जो आपका पैसा बुड़ा के यहां से भाग के चले जाएंगे. So if you want to avoid such kind of loss, तो तुमने कंसाइनी से कहा भाई तू जब भी क्रेडिट सेल करता रहेगा ना तो मेरे को पहला फोन करने का, मैं कंफर्म करेगा तो तूने क्रेडिट सेल करने का. अब कंसाइनी ने पहली बार फोन किया, कंसाइनी से आपने 1000 सवाल पूछ लिए. बंदा कौन है, कैसे है, कहाँ काम करता है, कितने का सेल है, कितने का टर्नओवर, प्रॉफिट मिलता है या नहीं, कौन से टाइप का गुड्स खरीदता है और कौन कौन उसको सप्लाई करता है, कोई क्रेडिट पे देता है या नहीं. इतना आपने हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी निकाल लिया, कंसाइनी परेशान. अगली बार कोई कस्टमर उससे क्रेडिट पे गुड्स खरीदने आया, तुम वो कंसाइनी बोलता है नहीं नहीं हमारे पास क्रेडिट पे गुड्स नहीं बिकता, हम लोग सिर्फ कैश पे गुड्स बेचेंगे. यू कैन नॉट डू दैट, क्योंकि ऐसा अगर करोगे तो तुम्हारा सेल बढ़ेगा ही नहीं. यू वांट टू इंक्रीज द सेल्स और नॉट. And for that purpose, what consignee does is, consignee tells the consignor, तू एक काम कर भाई, तू ना या तो क्रेडिट सेल बेचने को अलाउ कर या तो मेरे को गुड्स बेचना बंद कर. कंसाइनर बोलता है भाई फिर वो बेड डेट का लॉस का क्या करेंगे. फिर कंसाइनर को अचानक एकदम आइडिया आती है. एंड व्हाट इज दैट? कंसाइनर टेल्स द कंसाइनी, चल एक काम करते हैं, मैं ना तेरे को जो नॉर्मल कमीशन दे रहा है वो तो देता ही रहेगा, उसके अलावा तेरे को 3% और कमीशन दिया, पर वो 3% एडिशनल कमीशन सिर्फ इसलिए दे रहा हूं कि अगर कुछ बैड डेट का लॉस हुआ और तूने क्रेडिट सेल कर तू, और अगर कुछ बैड डेट का लॉस हुआ तो वो बैड डेट का लॉस तू बेयर करेगा. What consignor is telling the consignee? That you are allowed to sell the goods on credit. He motivates the consignee to sell the goods on credit basis. You are allowed to sell the goods on credit. However, if at all there is any bad debts loss after that, such bad debt loss will be borne by the consignee and nothing will be borne by the consignor. Right? So Del Creditor Commission is a kind of insurance against bad debts. The moment you commit to your consignee that you are going to give the Del Creditor Commission, then at a later point, if there is any bad debt loss, such loss will not be your loss. That will be the consignee's loss against that commission. Did you understand the concept of Del Creditor Commission? Anyone still having any kind of question with reference to commission before I go into the calculations? So I shall go ahead then. Sir, if the Del Creditor Commission, the amount is greater than commission, will it be borne by consignee? The bad debts amount is greater than commission. This is your question. Arya, if bad debt loss is more than commission, yes, even in that case, he will be required to bear with that bad debts because he has accepted to take the Del Creditor Commission. So he need to be very much cognizant about to whom is selling the goods, whether that person to whom he is selling the goods, whether that person will be ready to pay at a later point or not. That all has to be, that kind of diligence has to be there within the consignee in that case. If there is no bad debt, that's the Chandi and Sona for the consignee. जब bad debt का loss ही नहीं है तो फिर चिंता की क्या बात है बेटा? Still the Del Creditor Commission need to be paid. ऐसे क्या कर रहा है तू? Bad debt का loss avoid करने के लिए ही तो Del Creditor Commission दिया था ना? तो consignee ने वो bad debt का loss पूरा का पूरा absorb कर लिया या avoid कर दिया. He sold the goods only to the people who are genuine. Yeah, it's kind of insurance. That's what I said, Sayan. That's a kind. It is a kind of insurance against the bad debts.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, I had a doubt, sir.
बोल ना ऋषि.
So I just had a sir. Suppose in the question, like, is it compulsory that Del Creditor Commission will be for credit sales itself? Suppose
A very genuine question actually. Whether the Del Creditor Commission need to be calculated only with reference to the credit sales or total sales if the question is silent about it. Please understand, logically speaking, Del Creditor Commission is given only with reference to credit sales, right? However, what happens in practical sense कि अगर कंसाइनी के पास कोई कैश का भी कस्टमर आता है तो भी उसको वो क्रेडिट सेल दिखाएगा और फिर कहेगा चल मैं कल को तेरे से रिसीट भी आ गया ऐसा दिखा देगा. मतलब he will try to convert every sale into credit sale for the purpose of getting the Del Creditor Commission if you have given the Del Creditor Commission with reference to credit sales. बराबर?
Yes.
Therefore, the practical logic says that you should give the commission of Del Creditor at a lower rate on total sales. चाहे वो cash sales हो, चाहे credit sales हो, you will be given the Del Creditor Commission with reference to total sales. Write down this as a point to remember. Write down. Very genuine question, Rishi. That's fantastic.
Yeah, sir.
Yes,
Because
sir.
in some questions, I have seen like they write like
It is given on credit sales.
Yeah,
And in some questions they don't mention about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it, sir.
So write down the point to remember. Everyone should write this point to remember. As far as the Del Creditor Commission is given, if the question is silent about its calculation, if question is silent about its calculation, calculate it on total sales. calculate it on total sales. Right? So if that is clearly given that rail credit commission is to be calculated with reference to credit sales, in that case you calculate on credit sales. If it is mentioned rail credit commission is to be calculated on total sales, calculate it on total sales. If nothing is provided to you, assume it to be on total sales. Right? Total consignees commission 1000, loss on goods sold. Loss on goods sold नहीं होता है भाई साहब, bad dates loss होता है 2000, then consignee should pay 1000 to consignor. Yes. Is it right? So let's come on to the calculations part now with reference to commission. Observe it. Situ 1. Sales by consignee is 5 lakh. Invoice value of goods sold is 4,50,000. Cost of goods sold is 3,60,000. Right? This is the basic information given to us. This is basic info. Right? Now, situ 1. Consignees commission is 5% of sales. Now, nothing else has been provided to me. Directly, I've been told what consignees commission is 5% of sales. Then the question is very straight and simple for me. That is, whatever is the sales value. No, Abhishek, you have to do the calculation with reference to total sales. So if consignees commission is given with reference to 5% of sales, then in that case, you'll simply do what? Whatever is the total sales value of that 5% will be the commission or not. So commission will be equal to 5 lakh into 5%, that is 25,000. Very plain vanilla kind of situation it is. Correct? Now, situ 2. Consignees commission is 5% of sales and 10% of surplus above invoice value. Now, invoice value of what? Invoice value of only goods sold. You're not supposed to consider the invoice value of all goods. You have to consider only the invoice value of goods sold. यहाँ तो खैर आपके पास और कोई information है नहीं, तो invoice value of goods sold ही provided है. So what will be my normal commission? And के बाद जो आया, that is special commission. This 10% is special commission and this 5% is normal commission. So what is my normal commission is equal to 5 lakh into 5%, that is 25,000. Yes or no? Whereas, what is my special commission? Special commission is 10% of surplus above invoice price. मतलब अगर आपका इनवॉइस प्राइस के ऊपर कुछ प्रॉफिट आपने एडिशनल प्रॉफिट जो कमाया है उसका 10% देना है. So accordingly that will come to what? 5 lakh as actual sales minus 4,50,000 as the invoice value. So that comes to 5,000 rupees. In that case, what will be the total commission payable by consignor to consignee? That comes to 30,000 rupees. Are you people able to understand this? हाँ, अब आप पहला बेसिक इन्फो और सिचू 1 सिचू 2 लिख लो. Are you writing it? Okay. Let's come to situ 3. Consignees commission is 5% of sales at invoice value, not 5% of total sales. Now sales at invoice value, मतलब invoice value of goods sold का 5% and 10% of surplus above invoice value. So what will be the normal commission in this case? My normal commission will not be calculated with reference to 5 lakh now. My normal commission will be calculated with reference to invoice value of goods sold. So that will be what? 4,50,000 being the IP of goods sold into 5%, and that comes to 22,500. And what will my special commission be? That is 10% of actual sales, that is 5 lakh, minus invoice value of goods sold, that is 4,50,000, and that comes to 5,000. Accordingly, my total commission in this case will be 27,500. Is it right? Yes, Omkar. But when you are in the financial world, TC becomes total commission. Shall I? Let's talk about the next situation now. Situ 4. Consignees Commission is 10% of sales at invoice price and 1/5 of sales less normal commission, sales less normal commission exceeding, no, this is not 10%, this is 5%, exceeding invoice value. Again, invoice value only of goods sold. So what will normal commission be in this case? Normal commission will be 4,50,000 into 5%, that is 22,500. Yes or no? That continues to remain same. Whereas my special commission is equal to what? 1/5. 1/5 of what? Sales less normal commission as exceeding the invoice value of goods sold. Did you people understand what I did? What is the statement? Sales less normal commission exceeding, that is in excess of, invoice value. So I did sales less normal commission and subtracted therefrom what? Subtracted therefrom the invoice value of goods sold. Are you able to understand and observe? Therefore, my special commission will be what? 1/5. 1/5 of what? 5 lakh, which is my sales, less 22,500, which is my normal commission, less 4,50,000, that is my invoice value of goods sold. Are you able to understand this? So that comes to what? 5 lakh minus 4,50,000 minus 22,500 divided by 5. That is 5,500. So my total commission becomes what? 28,000. Did you understand this? Yes or no? हाँ, छापो. एक बात सिर्फ तुम्हारी अप्रिशिएट करने लायक है, शुरुआत है इसलिए पता नहीं कि जितने लोग ज्वाइन करते हैं ना उतने लोग अटेंड भी करते हैं। कितने अटेंटिव है वो नहीं कह सकता हूं, पर अटेंड करते हैं वर्चुअली। हाँ, सिचुएशन ही ऐसी है कि अब भी कैसे हम लोग अटेंटिव नहीं रहेंगे। रहना तो चाहिए लॉजिकली। हाँ, करो या मरो नहीं बेटा, करो और तरो। करो या मरो इज नॉट द कंसेप्ट, इट्स करो और तरो। You just work hard and go ahead. There is no looking back now. That should be the momentum. Taro is moving ahead. You just swim out. Good, Aishwarya. The previous attempt and what those all were, just forget about that. Sania, what you need to focus upon is what is there in your hand now. And you will get everything right. Right? Chalo, situ 5. Let's observe it. Okay, how many of you sincerely did writing practice yesterday? Please raise your hand. Did the writing practice? Raise your hands, please. I may not be able to ask this every day. Just let me observe. हाँ, चलो ऑनेस्ट तो हो आप लोग। जिन्होंने नहीं किया वो कम से कम हाथ ऊपर नहीं कर रहे हैं, ऐसा मुझे ऑब्जर्वेशन दिख रहा है। But more than half of the students have done it. I really appreciate that, because what happens is, whatsoever I told you, if you are not following it literally, then in that case you're creating the trouble for yourself again, and you're not expected to. You're not expected to commit the same mistakes again, right? Do not avoid the writing practice. You could write 5.5 pages. That's fantastic speed. See, here itself it proves that if you are having the capacities, why not to exploit it? 5.5, I'll assume 5. Your law subject, I said it yesterday also, is having 180 pages only. So 180 divided by 5, that takes only how many? कितना होता है? 8×5 = 40, नहीं, 36 घंटे. That is 6 hours, and you'll be able to do that. So you just decide in which way you want to go ahead, whether you seriously want to go ahead or not. Situ 5. Now this is what troubles many of them. Consignee Commission is 5% of sales. 5% of sales, not sales at invoice value. And 1/5 of sales less all commission exceeding less all commission. पिछले वाले में था less normal commission exceeding invoice value. You have to read it correctly. If you read the thing correct, you get the correct answer. आप लोग पढ़ने में मिस्टेक्स करते हो, इसलिए आपका दिमाग सही नहीं चलता है. Do not go with the preempted mind, with a kind of pre-assumed thought when you're getting into the exam hall. Go with a fresh mind, blank mind. Whatever comes, you deal with that. Right? मतलब वो कैसा है ना कि सपोज आप कहीं से कुछ चीज लेके आए और घर पे पसंद नहीं आई, तो आप घर से, और घर वालों ने कह दिया नहीं ये तुमको वापस करके आनी है, तो आप घर से डिसाइड करके जाते हो कि मैं वहां जाके क्या क्या कहूंगा क्या नहीं कहूंगा. यू शुड नॉट गो विद दैट. यू गो विद अ ब्लैंक माइंड. यू गो एंड टॉक टू दैट पर्सन एंड 90% ऑफ द टाइम योर वर्क इज डन. पर जब हम पहले से दिमाग बना के जाते हैं तो वहां पे झगड़े होने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. सो डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग. When you're getting into the exam hall, you need to be free of any kind of thought. You need to go with a fresh kind of mind. And that makes a lot of difference when it comes to the examination. Yes, Mitali, you need to speak something? Okay. Observe it. So, normal commission in this case will be 5 पेटी का 5% because 5% of sales कहा हुआ है. That is 25,000. Correct? And special commission is equal to 1/5 of sales less normal commission less special commission exceeding what? Exceeding invoice value, IP of goods sold. Yes or no? So accordingly that will be what? I just factor out this particular equation. 5 special commission, I took that denominator to the numerator on the opposite side, will be equal to 5 lakh rupees being my sales less 25,000 being my normal commission less special commission because I have not yet calculated it, I am calculating it right now, less 4,50,000, that is my IP of goods sold. Correct or not? So that comes to 6 special commission. How 6 special commission? I took negative special commission from the right hand side to the positive special commission on the left hand side. So 6 special commission is equal to 25,000. Are you able to observe it? Yes or no? Aishwarya, did you understand where you went wrong? You directly did 25,000 ka 1/5. It is not 25,000 ka 1/5 beta, 25,000 ka 1/6 it is. So special commission is equal to 25,000 up on 6, that is 4,167. Correct? So special commission is 4,167. Therefore, total commission becomes what? 29,167. जो प्रश्न दिया है उसके हिसाब से उत्तर निकालो. तुम्हारे दिमाग में जो कंसेप्ट है उसके हिसाब से नहीं. Write down Situ 5. Is it done? So we have finished two core concepts related to consignment. One is the calculations with reference to cost, IPCP, additional profit, and selling price. And second is with reference to consignees commission. I didn't bring the calculation with reference to the del creditor commission in here because the calculations remain same. Whether the name is called as del creditor or additional commission, that's a different thing. कैलकुलेशन वाइज फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, फर्क कहां पड़ेगा, उसका अकाउंटिंग ट्रीटमेंट में. और वो अकाउंटिंग ट्रीटमेंट में क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, when we'll be going to the accounting entries, at that time we'll be able to understand that. So what you're supposed to observe and understand now is whatsoever concept we have finished, you refer through the notes of that. You refer through the ICAI module notes with reference to that. And you do the calculations again on your own. And mind well, friends, if you have done that, then these concepts will be through and through. And the next what will be required to do will be the next concepts related to consignment. The next aspect that we are going to talk about in consignment topic is the concept related to the closing stock valuation, considering normal and abnormal losses. If anyone has any kind of questions before that, you just come up with that. Or else, what is the homework for the day? Number one, reviewing through all the concepts that we have completed till now. Number two, resolving all the examples that we have completed today. Number three, reading about the concept of closing stock and the normal and abnormal loss. And by that way, the things will get over for us on that. And day after, we'll be able to complete with this particular topic. Is that point right? That's it for the day. I'll stop by here. We'll be meeting tomorrow. Thank you very much.